Hey, good morning. Welcome to episode 3 of Drivin Dads. I'm David. That's Donovan.
Yep.
For those who watched the first two podcasts, thank you.
Special shout out to, there's a guy named Dihan who commented. I mean, it's always so nice. I mean, we're creating this kind of out of the blue, and we're just doing it for that. We're doing it because we love cars. So it's really nice to see that people respond. Because that's people like Dihan who like cars, and we want to talk rubbish with people who like cars. So,
Okay, so today talk a couple of car launches, motor news, general chit chats, and some fun stuff. The usual.
Yeah, why not? Okay, so I want to start with Subaru have launched a new CrossTrek.
Yes.
Nice looking little car.
Okay.
All-wheel drive.
Okay. Replacement for the VX, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So very nice looking car. When I look at you read the brochure and it's make living exciting, and even the brochure has very little about. For me, the big thing for me in Subarus is the engine.
Yes.
Because that's always the big weakness for me.
Yeah.
And every time you watch the guys, the engines are quite unreliable because they both have the 2-liter boxer 4-cylinder, which tends to have its problems, especially the Subaru one for some reason. So, is that engine in the 86 and the BRZ?
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I know that's the inherent weakness. Hopefully they've overcome it. But I think the big thing for me was the surprising part for me in this car was the price. So when I look at our little favorite website here, so these are the crossovers.
Yeah.
Okay, Suzuki, but there we have
the CrossTrek.
So $579 and $669 for the Subaru.
Yeah. Top of the range one, I think, got leather seats and some extra tech on board. I think sunroof. Yeah,
so looking at so rear view camera standard on both, vehicle dynamic control standard on both, active torque vectoring standard on both. So a bunch of safety features. Front view monitor.
Yeah.
So that's not on the lower range. The high beam assist is not on the lower. So high beam assist, that's the automatic dimming of the lights, right? Lane change assist on both. Panoramic 360 degree monitor.
Yeah.
Have you ever driven a car with one of those?
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's I think, especially on a bigger car, it's such a lifesaver, especially parking and so on. I mean,
imagine if off-road.
Yeah. Oh, what I do like, you'll probably see more cars, Land Rover, have a camera under the car.
Oh, really?
So essentially, you can actually look through the car and see what's underneath the car when you're driving.
That's flipping cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so the rear cross traffic alert, which I thought was a nice feature.
Yeah.
So when you're reversing out your driveway, or out of a parking lot, you don't have the car guy going, come. You have the car telling you come.
Yeah.
But a couple of nice safety features. So a really well kitted out car.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect any less from them.
Yeah. Nice big, I think 11.6 inch touchscreen portrait mode, which is quite nice. Very nice interior, very comfy. Bit Volvo-like with a portrait touchscreen. It's a decent. I think that's probably going to be a very nice place to sit in.
It's divine. I like the gauges.
Yeah,
I love gauges.
Yeah.
Actually, looking at it now again, I really like the Subaru logo. It's a weird thing to think about, but it's like I get it. It's not like everyone else has a word or a symbol, but theirs is. It's got something to it.
Underneath it's a Impreza, so it's essentially just a jacked up Impreza, but there's nothing wrong with that. The Impreza's a fabulous car.
So this is that picture there. So that's the screen you're talking about. So you said portrait mode, eh?
Yeah, it's a portrait
mode.
That's
what you like. I like the little tech add-ins. So it shows they're thinking about their customers. So we see the USB-C and still an aux port. I don't know who's okay. I still use that because my car's flipping old. But an aux port, wireless charging.
Wireless charging, yeah.
Which is also very nice.
Yeah.
I think I think they've nailed the adventurer kind of car. But for me, the most surprising and most satisfying part of it is the price.
Yeah,
I mean, it's well priced.
The old VX, which is places, there's a good number of them on the road, and I think you're probably going to see a good number of these on the road as well.
Yeah,
I'd say that's a very decent car.
No, I think they've done really well.
Yeah.
And again, even though my hold up is or my hang up is the engine. so the reliability of the engine and if it goes wrong. And I've seen it go wrong on lots of YouTube videos. People hate them, if the turbo fails, which is the common part, I think. But that said, because it's an enthusiast car, you get a lot of information online. Like we could probably go online right now and find a Subaru forum and they'll just describe every flipping nut and bolt in that engine and how to fix it, you know. So you'll have that kind of level of support, not just from other DIY enthusiasts, but you'll have people who start a mechanics shop. I think there might be one down there. No, I'm forgetting which house I'm living in. The previous house we used to live in, there was a guy down the road who specialized in Subarus. You know,
they've got an enormous following. I mean, all the way back to the mid 90s with the original Subaru Impreza and the WRX that dominated. I mean, and that they have that fan base, which is a good thing. I mean, like you said, I mean, repairs and so on. I mean, granted, buy a new car is going to be covered and so on. But once that ends, I mean, you have that fan base that's there.
I think that's a great thing. So, it's something that occurred to me. Like I look at this car, and I think it's well priced for what it is. I do think when we look at the pricing, I know there are cheaper cars and there's cheaper ones that I personally would get. So when we go up to the Suzuki Grand Vitara is very, very nice.
So that's a new Vitara. That
might not be as well kitted out spec wise. Like it's probably doesn't have all the fancy features that the Subaru does. For me, the Renault Duster is it's cheap enough to be beat on, but it's not a Mahindra Thar. You know what I'm saying? So it's a car that I can use this as a family car. I'll still take care of it. 423,000 Rand. It's got the Nissan diesel engine in, which I really love. Probably also not as, those have really nice features inside, but it's probably not as like luxury as the Subaru.
I think things like lane, keeping you in the lane and all that.
So I think they've done it really well to nail it, but it made me think a bit about, like Hyundai. So Hyundai have some really nice looking cars. That weird little van of theirs, I can't remember what they call it now. The Star something or the
Staria.
Yeah, the weird lights. And they, like everything Hyundai have done, doesn't lead the market. Like they always copied. So you'll think of the i30N, really nice, really good. But it's not like they haven't led into the market ever. Whereas Subaru, when they came along, they did all-wheel drive, which, Quattro did, and they did a boxer engine, which Porsche did, but they managed to take something, put it in a new package, and just blitz the rally scene.
Well, I think like the original Audi Quattro, I mean, that's set the
tone for rally.
Okay, but what Subaru did is they made it popular. They brought it to the masses. The Audi Quattro is a fabulous car, but nobody could buy it because it was just. But for example, Subaru with the Impreza brought that rally.
I think you hit the nail on the head. So they've taken something that who tried to do it? I can't remember which. So Ford did it with the Mustang. We're making a small muscle car, and like everyone, we all can buy this thing. And so you're right. They made it accessible, and then that's why it was very popular. Because you could have the same car. The rally guy. With the same gold wheels and the blue color. Didn't have the branding on, but you could have the same car. And I think because of that, the heritage and the culture, it makes me look at this and go, okay, I see the years behind it. I see the thought behind it. Sure, I'm not entirely like I'd battle with this car with the engine personally. Just thinking to myself, oh God, if I miss a service or something goes wrong, if there's moisture gets in the engine, it's toast. That bugs me a bit, but I think at that price, I would take that risk.
If I was going, especially in this country with our awful roads and so on, I mean, it's probably not a bad choice.
Well, look, the fact that, imagine you want to go camping somewhere, right? You're going to take your phone and everything. You can charge your phones and the stuff, so it's got all that stuff. It's luxury inside. It's big enough. It's powerful enough. It's all-wheel drive. It's got
a little bit of extra clearance.
So it's quite capable. Interestingly, the higher range has leather seats. I kind of like cloth seats now. I don't know why I'm going that route. Maybe it's an old school.
It's interesting. A lot of the newer cars are coming out, are dropping leather for environmental, ethical reasons, etc., etc. And there are some really, really nice cars, top of the range cars that don't come with leather. They come with really decent fabric.
I don't know. So I'm lucky, and maybe I think because I'm throwing back to like the old supercars. You know, I was looking at the Porsche. I think it's a 928. The top level trim then came with a cloth seat.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice. So maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that it's very nice. Nice spec car, I think.
Yeah.
And then very, very well priced. For what it is, I think. It's brilliant. So I don't think people will go wrong buying it. But the talk of enthusiast things makes me want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
And I know that it's a bit weird because this is now the second time we've done this podcast thanks to technical difficulties again. So, like when we look at it, like what did you love about cars? Why are we so enthusiastic about internal combustion engines, and why do we love cars?
Okay. Yeah. So when we were younger, or when I was younger, okay. So back in the day, before the internet, I was learning about cars. Like I said, my grandfather at the time had his E30. So I grew up sort of getting into cars when I was younger, and I never knew the details.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what is a straight six engine? What is a V8? And so on. But there were things that were like the sounds of the engines.
Yeah.
Okay. So our Kia engine, I wouldn't know. Was it a V8? Was it a V12? I don't know. It sounded right. Okay. And and that's what got me into it. I mean, it's just a feel of those. Like you go to Porsches, your Lamborghinis, your Ferraris. I mean, those were your sort of. When I was younger, it was a Countach.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, those were your posters on the wall.
For me, the big supercar poster one was that Porsche. It was a 911 with that ludicrous back wing. Do you remember that car? It had like massive.
The turbo.
The
original turbo.
I remember. Like, it was this ludicrously sized thing, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But so the reason why I asked that question is, what happened when we were younger, and this probably is a similar journey for most car enthusiasts, is we would look at something or hear something or see it and go, I like that, and then you want to learn more about it.
Yeah.
So we spent all this time going, okay, is it a V8, is it a V12, what's a box engine, what's the H engine, is it air cooled, is it liquid cooled? We have all this information that we've now built up, and cars are so complicated that we've invested this time into looking at it and going, okay, I really like that, and then like enthusiasts go a little further and say, how can I customize it?
Yes.
So how can I make it faster? How can I make it better? Simple example is I drive Volvo. It's the 2-liter diesel engine. It's the Ford engine.
Yeah.
Okay. Took it to Volvo, and they said, okay, you need a new auxiliary belt tensioner. So I go, fine, 400 Rand, fine, get it going. They replace it, done. Then a while back, I was replacing my alternator myself, and I couldn't get the belt off because the Volvo tensioner, the way it was designed, had this really, really shallow bolt head that you needed to get a socket on to get a good grip on.
Yes.
But it was so close to the body of the car that you couldn't get a socket on it. So you either had to drop the engine or break the belt tensioner.
Yep.
So I was like, no, this is nonsense. Like, okay, well, I'm not dropping the engine because I wasn't going that far. So I phoned around. I got a new belt tensioner, aftermarket one, $400.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. I get it. The new one, being aftermarket, they took this into account and put a deeper bolt on it. That's okay. It's a different size as well, so it's a 15. So I took the Volvo belt tension off, perfectly fine working unit because it doesn't break, Yeah. And then I put the new one on, but now I can operate it. So what I've done is I've looked at the car, seen something that can be made where someone else has done that. I've bought a new part and I've modified my car to be easier to fix later on. So all that time and investment, I've gone and said, okay, look, now my car's slightly better than the other ex-Volvo. So it's weird that we look at that. And then Nissan, Toyota, Honda, they did it really well in the US market. So they said, okay, here's a car, and there's all this aftermarket stuff you can put on it. And then guys are running 1,000 horsepower Hondas, which is insane when you think about a little four-cylinder, Jeep have done it, and Jeep maybe not so much with the engine, lots with the engine, but after the 4x you can put snorkels and new doors, and you can go wild on these cars. And I think there's something to that electric cars don't bring. You can't update the cam on an electric car and get more horsepower. So those kind of things are gone now, and the traditional people are going, what now?
I mean, look, I can understand the issues there. I mean, internal combustion engines, current old style cars, okay, there is that history. There is that knowledge base.
Yeah.
Okay, so a mechanic can go to any particular car and go, "This is."
Yeah.
I can look at this. Okay, electric cars are different. Okay, one of the big problems with electric cars is proprietary tech.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be less of an issue, I think, in the future because of changes to things like the right to repair laws.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you're right. I mean, there are fewer things you can do to an electric car. I mean, internal combustion engine, like you said, you could change things like the head. You can bore it out and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But electric cars, you can't do that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, especially powertrain-wise. I mean, you've got batteries and a motor, and that's pretty much it. Okay, then control units. So changing suspension, I saw a guy do a gearbox mod on even a modern petrol car where there was a module that he needed to change. And you can buy, it almost looks like a little USB dongle that plugs into the sensor to fake that the unit is still there, so it doesn't put a light on the dash. So people have gone that far to go, but they know how it works. They know that it's a temperature sensor or an O2 sensor. Yeah. They know how to fake it. With an electric, it's very different. Yeah. It's very new. The average person, also it's very dangerous. I mean, it's super high voltage. The average person is not going to go, I'm going to fix it. You can't drop an engine in the garage, in the driveway somewhere.
I mean, the software is, like, for example, going to be an issue. I mean, everything is so interconnected, which is the other big issue. I mean, on a Jeep, okay, you can change the suspension without really worrying too much about what does the engine. But with the electric car, you change the suspension, but it's going to affect things like your traction control and all that. So that's become. But I think, given enough time, I think there is going to be that ability. Yeah. Okay. Especially as electric cars get older, because things like batteries degrade.
They will degrade, yeah.
Okay. So I think you're going to start seeing the changes coming for that.
Well, I'm looking forward to there being more third aftermarket parts. So, like in the US, it's more prevalent where guys will buy a car, soup it up, and go to a dragster. Yes. So, but with an electric car, you can't change the motor. So that's going to people are going to battle with that. You can't change the gearing. You can't do this. There's all the stuff you can't do. But as as you're right, as aftermarket parts become more available, as there's more cars on the market, it'll become better. I mean, even to the point where I'm going to put this picture up because it's cute anyway. Fiat have launched their little city runaround called the Fiat Topolino. Yes. Which, I mean, that's a little electric car. Okay, that's pretty much a golf cart. Yeah. But so that's modeled on their... that's the original Topolino.
Which is tiny.
That is very, very small. Yeah.
I'll still next to one of those. It is minute.
Those are very small. In fact, I think they race something similar in Joburg. The guys have cars like this size with motorcycle engines. And they fly and they sound amazing. Yeah. But so I think it's interesting that as it becomes more popular and, but I'm hoping that at some point we have access to modify these things. Yes. Because I think that's where the enthusiasm begins. Yes, yeah. And we need that.
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to come down to things, unfortunately, changes in laws. Yeah. Enabling access to the proprietary systems. Yeah. 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 I think that's what we need.
Yeah. Okay. Let's touch on bad mods. So you've got some bad modifications to show me. Okay. I've seen two of these. But the others I haven't seen.
Okay. So let's start off with this Volvo 850. Kneecapper. I mean, there's no other word to describe that.
That's such a great car.
I mean, the Volvo 850 is a fabulous car.
But what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, all they've done is put these god-awful wheels on them. I mean, you're going to go past somebody and take out their legs. I mean,
and that's supposed to be a safe car. It's not safe now.
Yeah. I mean...
that's nuts. But they didn't even lower it.
No,
they didn't change a camber. It's just...
There's no other changes, it looks like.
You know what it looks like? It looks like someone's inherited that car from his grandfather and has immediately ruined it.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, Grandpa. I'm going to honor your memory by killing people.
Yeah, I mean the one at the spare at the rear is just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, that's very funny. It almost looks like a sad tire.
What have they done
that's
to
terrible.
Me?
Looks like a brass stand. In South Africa, that would be a brass stand.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. This guy, what is it? A Honda. Okay. He decided to build himself his own wing out of what looks like.
I love the spray paint on the top. Like he didn't even do it properly.
And the bolting, and you just put it together in bits and pieces. And I mean, oh, jeez.
You know what the worst part about this for me is I don't have a huge understanding of aerodynamics. I do think though that will be the opposite.
Okay, well, okay. I mean, this is one of the things about aerodynamics, and people put wings like this on cars. Amuse me immensely. Okay, what is the point of a wing like that generally?
It's to produce downforce.
Okay. Right? The problem is most of the cars they put these on are front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Okay. And where is it producing the downforce?
Okay, so they need the traction for drive on the front.
Yes. It's going to be putting all the downforce on the rear wheel. It's going to lift the car up on the front wheel. So you're actually going to get less traction on the front wheel.
Yeah, I get that, but I think you still need some sort of traction and turning at the back. But this guy, so the reason why I say this guy won't is so, you know, when you look at the angle of an aerofoil, all this is going to be doing is putting more air pressure at the bottom, which is going to lift the car up.
It's going to produce a huge amount of drag.
Yeah, so if he had flipped it around, it might be better, but all he's going to get out of this is drag and rattle.
Yeah. Okay, so once again, another Honda with another airfoil. Mounted completely the wrong way.
Yeah, that's backwards.
That's backwards. Yes.
What the damn hell?
Please enter the number plate. I see you, bro. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The poor Honda. That thing is going to... You're probably going to lose a significant amount of speed, and that thing is going to produce so much drag.
Yeah.
And your fuel consumption is going to go through the roof.
Yeah, that's drag, eh?
Yeah.
Dude doesn't like his fuel consumption.
Okay,
what's next?
I'm a huge fan of this one.
Oh. Yeah, that's a... Is that a fan?
It doesn't spin. I mean, you can see how it's... Yeah. What the point of that is, I don't know.
That's... What?
Yes.
What? I actually have no words. I don't even understand what the hell they're trying to do.
Yeah, me neither.
That's the most absurd thing I think I've seen in a while.
No. It gets better.
Yeah, I have no words. I don't know what the hell they're trying to do. I can't even imagine. I can't even make a joke about it because I have no idea what it is. That's...
It's like a. I mean, if it's spun, I'd maybe understand.
Yeah.
But no. It can't spin because obviously the number plate there.
Yeah, can you imagine? Okay, what's... No. Are those bicycle wheels?
I have no idea what sort of wheels those are.
I love the shadow. Look at the shadow. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
What does it say on the side there?
Something. What's next? I think. Yeah, I saw that, and but now that I had this case of no words.
I think this is what, actually I can't even. Can you imagine the guy going? Okay, I get the lifting.
Yeah,
people do that. They make monster trucks. Cool. Okay, what kind of wheels can I put on this car?
How big can I go?
Hey, remember a penny farthing? That is like, I don't like. Are there tires on it? Like, it doesn't look like it.
I'm not sure. It doesn't look like it. Yeah.
What the? Why? Yeah. Like,
yes.
The stupid stickers. Oh no. Hold on.
Granted, again, I will admit this. I have a feeling it's not actually designed to go. I think this is sitting outside.
It's a show thing. Yeah.
This is sitting outside some store.
Yeah, like a showpiece. But again, why are those wheels? You know, like, why are bicycle looking like that's? I can't imagine in what world. Okay, we need a marketing exercise. We need something that's going to grab attention. Okay, let's build the stupidest looking thing. The only thing that would make this worse is if it had those pointy things from the Volvo.
Can you imagine how long those would be?
Yeah, you're sticking off into the neighbor's yard. No, that's nuts.
Okay.
Is there more?
Yeah, one more.
What?
How's this Rolls Royce for you?
What the hell is going on there?
So many things. I think that was once upon a time a Viper, I think. I could be very wrong, but those look like Viper tails. It could also have been... No, I think it might have been a Viper once upon a time.
So I've seen there's a mod for a Mustang, a body kit that will put like an old school front on it.
Yeah.
That's not a Mustang though.
No, that's not a Mustang.
That either looks like like you said, a Dodge Viper or an MX-5.
MX-5 was the other thing that occurred to me. But I think size-wise, I think it's closer to a Viper. I also think
of where the fuel cap is.
Yeah. Anyway.
Jeez, that's...
Yes.
You watch those shows like on Netflix or on Discovery Channel where the guys do weird cars.
Yes.
That's not even... This like, if someone pitched Richard Rawlings this, Richard Rawlings would say, get out. No one would... Actually, none of the guys would build this.
Yeah, it's the starting parts. I mean, the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Upright grille.
I kind of like the Rolls Royce front grille, but I don't get the pool pipe bumper looking thing.
Yeah.
And why red? Oh my gosh, that is
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's terrible. Toyota have launched a new subcompact, very badly named in my opinion, called the Vitz, and with a V. So I suppose maybe I'm being a bit too picky on it. That it's called the Vitz, like is it named after the university? Is like in their press release they talk about Vitz power. So it's a bit funny. They have quite nicely had a local creator make a commercial for it, which is quite cool to support the local arts. But so they've brought this out. It starts at 189,000 Rand is the price. 189,000 up to 240,000 Rand for an automated manual transmission.
What engine?
This is, I think it's a 1 litre turbo.
Oh, okay.
So quite small. It's the average one for the subcompact. But interesting, so this replaces the Agya, or the Agya, in South Africa, which I wish that lasted longer so I could make more jokes about that rubbish name.
Yeah.
And the Ago. So the Agya replaced the Ago. So the Agya only lasted 2 years in the market. The Ago lasted about 10.
Yeah.
That was a nice one that had the little X in the front. They actually had a little convertible version. I thought that was quite cool. But as these cars get more expensive, they price themselves out of the market. Toyota wanted something really, really cheap. And so they introduced this, which is pretty much the Suzuki Celerio.
Yeah.
But, I just find it interesting that they haven't been able to keep a car on the market.
Yeah. I think the big problem is they don't have, overseas, they don't have subcompact models of their own like this.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they're relying on their partners, Suzuki in this particular case, to provide those.
Yeah. But what are they developing? So they've got the sports cars now, so the Corollas, the GRs, the Supra.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the SUV markets.
Yeah.
And the
Buckies, this is the problem. I mean, overseas, crossovers, 4x4s are where the money's at.
Yeah.
I mean, Ford, I think, no longer produces a sedan in the US.
Yeah. The only car they make, I don't know if they still make the Focus. They said they were only going to make one, other than the Mustang. So I know that was, like, they stopped everything. And I really loved, like, Ford had, was it the Mondeo?
Mondeo, yeah.
Oh, I loved it. But that was the stolen grille from Aston Martin.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I liked it so much. Yeah. But yeah, look, it's a...
I mean, this is the thing. Why spend the money on developing something when you can buy in?
Yeah.
I mean, for Suzuki, it's a win-win situation. Toyota pays them. Yeah. They sell. They make money.
I wonder which is cheaper. Come to think of it. So this starts at 89. Okay, Suzuki Espresso, Suzuki Celerio, 183,000.
Yeah.
The Renault Kwid is 185. That's the cheapest Kwid. Okay, yeah. So the Kwid's actually gone up since we bought my mum one. And then the Toyota Vitz is 189,900. So yeah, the Celerio, the GA, is slightly cheaper. Does it have the same features though?
Yeah.
That's the other question.
So I just compare spec for spec.
Yeah. So I mean, we're looking at in the press release, Toyota say the safety features. So this is what I like. ABS, EBD, the The vehicle stability control,
Yeah.
huge one. Hill assist control, which is quite nice as well. So that's a standard feature on the automated manual. Okay, so it's not on all of them, but just the automated manual one. But I mean, that's really nice for a beginner driver.
Yeah.
For less than 200k. Actually, that might make it hold its value a bit.
No, look, I mean, this thing, cars now at the point where really bad cars.
Yeah.
I mean, but but on the inside of what it's got a Suzuki. I mean,
so I've got pictures of the Suzuki Celerio here as well.
Yeah.
Because it's the exact same car.
Yeah, I think the only thing different is the badge.
Yeah, so there's the front of the Suzuki, and let me click it. So here's the front of the Toyota.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same. The interior is so similar. So here's the interior of the Suzuki, and I mean that's like those are exactly the same.
Yeah,
inside.
And badge engineering as fun as they say, but I mean, I'm pretty sure. Tech-wise, it's got the touch screen. It's going to have things like Android Auto, Apple CarPlay.
Will it actually? That's the other thing. Aircon, steering wheel controls, 4-speaker sound system. That's normally they cheap out and only put 2. Bluetooth, USB, Apple CarPlay on the XR models. So the higher range you'll get the higher features. But I mean, so the XR model. Okay, that's 219,900 rand.
Yeah, so it's
30,000
rand.
Yeah, that's quite a difference for that. But then again, I mean,
yeah. So
that's their entry. I mean, I don't like it, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's one of those cars that's you're going to see a lot of them because they're so cheap. Nothing wrong with it. It's just.
So it's going to replace the Etios because the Etios isn't around either.
Yeah.
Although the Etios was slightly bigger, they don't do the Etios anymore.
Yeah. I think the thing is what Toyota's doing is essentially rationalizing their range. They had so many models, especially at that sort of small size.
Yeah.
It just makes it far more sense to produce 1 or 2 rather than 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So Aston Martin just launched the new replacements, their Super Tourer rather than just only GT. Replacement for the DB11, the DB12. In essence, it's an updated DB11, except unfortunately, despite the name, it doesn't have the V12 in it. It's got the 4-litre V8 from the old Vantage. It was a fabulous engine. It produces more power than the old V12. It's just sad to see the end of the V12.
Sad to see the end of the V12.
Okay, so changes. Okay, front and rear changes effectively.
Yeah,
it's absolutely massive new grille.
It's huge.
It is new headlights. Tail. I think the new tail wing. Interior, quite a fair amount of revision with the screen and
sticking to the standard. Is it brown leather? Standard Aston Martin. What we'd expect.
Yeah, this was Aston Martin green on the outside. I mean, I actually went and played around with the configurator, built my own one, which is
nice.
quite a lot of fun.
What was the price in the end?
Didn't actually give me a price.
Oh, nice. Are those gold wheels, eh?
Yeah. I think this is a fabulous car. I mean, Aston Martins are always.
Yeah. So the supercar purist won't like it because it's got a V8 and it's not fast and.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure it does 200 miles per hour.
Oh yeah, but it's not the Rimac, you know.
Yeah.
It's not breaking any records, and it's probably not going to beat other supercars around the track.
No, but it's a Tourer.
Yeah, this is why I love Aston Martin.
Okay, so I think that wraps it up for today.
Yeah, that's us, eh?
Okay. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. As always, as I say, like and subscribe.
Yeah, find us. You can find us on Instagram.
Yes, we're on Instagram.
So look for Drivin Dads on Instagram.
Okay,
and TikTok as well. Drivin Dads too, which is weird to be on TikTok, but I actually think as I manage it, it's okay. It's kind of nice. People comment and ask questions. I just saw an ask question now. Someone had said because in the last episode we spoke about the Rimac and how petrolheads can't ignore it.
Yeah.
And the comment was, but I like to hear the banging and popping out the back of the car. Okay, sure. But I mean,
That's why I like BMW. That's why I hired Hans Zimmer to make the sounds for you.
Yeah, oh God. We must, that's the whole over the episode. Don't get me started. Because that's like, that drives me nuts. I want a quiet car. I don't want stupid orchestral or farting noises or whatever.
Okay, so let's wrap up there. Okay,
cool.
Okay, so thanks everyone. And we'll hopefully see you next week.
Yeah, cheers. We'll see you
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Simon.